The Supreme Court has struck down Louisiana's second majority black congressional district in a decision that could open the door for Republican-led states to eliminate black and Latino electoral districts that tend to favor Democrats. The decision was an about-face for the court, which less than 3 years ago reached a different outcome in a similar case from Alabama. An effort spurred by President Donald Trump to preserve the slim Republican majority in the House of Representatives already has led to a nationwide round of redistricting.
Shrimp crews take their boats out for weeks at a time, usually burning through about 12,000 gallons of diesel fuel. So a lot of shrimp boat owners are watching and waiting to see if the U.S. and Iran will strike up a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which could slowly bring those fuel prices back down.
Well, we definitely depend on the price of fuel, which we can't control at all.
Shrimp boats floating high at the dock. It's a telltale sign that their fuel tank is empty.
We're not buying no fuel right now. That's why she's floating a little high.
Joseph Rodriguez built the Little Andrew in 2001. She can hold 27,000 gallons of diesel fuel on a full tank. On Wednesday, AAA reported a gallon of diesel cost an average of about $5.46 a gallon. That's up nearly $2 from a year ago.
It's going to make it more difficult to make any kind of profit at all.
About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz off Iran's coast. But it's been effectively closed for weeks as the conflict in the Middle East remains unresolved. On Monday, Iranian officials offered to open the strait if the U.S. lifts its naval blockade and ends the conflict. But the Trump administration rejected the offer because Iran did not agree to halt its nuclear program. But Rodriguez still supports the U.S. strikes in Iran.
We'll suffer along with it for a little bit because it's got to be done.
Another headache for American shrimpers: tariffs. In February, the Supreme Court ruled that President Trump's tariffs on U.S. importers were unlawful. So while Rodriguez's ship stayed docked, his foreign competitors in the shrimping industry are now getting millions in tariff refunds.
It's definitely a double whammy for us. We're in competition with the government of China, for God's sakes.
Rodriguez says consumers can help keep American shrimpers competitive by choosing local shrimp over imports.
You'd be surprised at some of the high-end restaurants that'll serve you shrimp that's got more frequent flyer miles than I got.
The Southern Shrimp Alliance says the U.S. made more than $900 million in tariff revenue on imported shrimp just last year. All of it has to be refunded, including nearly $450 million going back to India alone. In Biola Battery, Alabama, Asher Red, Fox News.
Tacklers live! People die!
That was a scene a week ago as protesters pleaded with a federal judge to reject a massive settlement with OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma. The company became the face of the opioid epidemic after admitting it lied to the DEA and paid doctors to prescribe the drug. But on Tuesday, the long legal saga came to an end, the judge issuing a criminal sentence against Purdue, ordering it to dissolve and agreeing to a $7 billion settlement with the Sackler family.
Purdue's going to pay a fine for hundreds and thousands of lives.
To prevent this from happening again, there has to be more than just fines.
Victims and their families want the Sacklers to pay more, noting they have billions in the bank while their victims are struggling with addiction.
Every time we get her to treatment, the insurance kicks her out after 10 days. 10 days is not enough time to get well, and my family just doesn't have the money to pay for private treatment for her.
Others say they want to see the Sacklers behind bars.
I would like to see them criminally charged.
But lawyers for the Justice Department argued this is the best way to ensure Purdue poses no further threat to the public, while also getting much-needed resources to fight the epidemic.
I don't know, our children can't be brought back, our people can't be brought back.
Settlement payments to individual victims are expected to range from $8,000 to $16,000. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
Currently, the Palapena County judge and the Parker County judge are both working on declaring the area a disaster.
Authorities in Mineral Wells, Texas, addressing the damage left by a tornado that flattened parts of the town.
Y'all pray for everybody in Mineral Wells, Texas, guys. It's crazy out here right now.
Several people were injured, 2 of them hospitalized when the tornado ripped through the town about 80 miles west of Dallas Tuesday, the 6th day of a severe storm outbreak that has terrorized the Midwest and continues to wreak havoc in the South. The violent storms Tuesday also came with hail. Hailstones up to tennis ball and baseball size pummeled Springfield, Missouri, damaging vehicles and knocking down power poles.
I gotta get out of here.
A storm chaser in Missouri reacting as the icy chunks rained down on his car, cracking his windshield. In neighboring Illinois, authorities are assessing damage from a tornado Monday that ripped through several towns in Clinton County, including Germantown. The storm damaged homes, toppled trees and power lines, and blocked roads. Meanwhile, wildfires continue to burn in parts of the South, including South Florida, where a massive blaze is burning in Everglades National Park. As of Tuesday night, it had expanded to more than 5,000 acres. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The State Department says it is preparing a limited release of commemorative U.S. passports, celebrating America's 250th birthday and featuring a picture of President Donald Trump. He would be the first living president to be featured in the travel document. The commemorative passport will be the default document for people applying in person at the Washington, D.C. passport office. But those who want a standard passport will be able to get one by applying online or outside Washington.
In a jam-packed one-day tour, King Charles will travel from Lower Manhattan up to Harlem in part of his closely watched 4-day trip to the U.S. King Charles and Queen Camilla arriving to New York City in the first trip by a reigning monarch since Queen Elizabeth's visit in 2010. While here, the royal couple is attending a wreath-laying ceremony at the 9/11 memorial as the city marks 25 years this September since the horrific tragedy. The visit also comes after King Charles addressed Congress Tuesday for the first time, focusing on reconciliation.
The alliance that our two nations have built over the centuries, and for which we are profoundly grateful to the American people, is truly unique. But in this unpredictable environment, our alliance cannot rest on past achievements.
King Charles's visit comes at a difficult time between U.S.-UK relations, primarily over Britain's reluctance and other NATO allies to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. While the king is not a spokesperson for the British government, Trump brought up the subject of the Middle East conflict during a White House state dinner for the royals last night.
Charles agrees with me even more than I do. We're never going to let that opponent have a nuclear weapon.
Later today, the couple will separate during their trip. The Queen will attend a literature event at the New York Public Library, while the King participates in a food insecurity event in Harlem. At New York, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Let's talk about something that quietly messes with your wallet: interest rates. They're basically the cost of borrowing money, buying a home, a car, carrying a credit card balance. Interest rates decide how much extra you'll pay. When rates go up, borrowing gets more expensive. When they go down, things get cheaper. So, who decides this? Mainly the Federal Reserve, or the Fed. It sets a short-term rate that helps steer the economy. If inflation's running hot, the Fed raises rates to slow things down. If the economy's cooling off, they cut rates to boost spending power and job growth. But here's where it gets interesting. Long-term rates, like mortgage rates, aren't totally under the Fed's control. They're driven by financial markets. If investors buy fewer government bonds, that can raise their interest rate, as a higher rate can attract more buyers. If investors buy more bonds, the opposite can happen. Rates can fall, and the rates on government bonds strongly influence things like mortgage rates and car loans. And markets love to guess. If they think rate cuts are coming, mortgage rates can fall before the Fed actually moves. Bottom line, interest rates affect more than you think, and knowing how they work helps you make smarter money moves.
Starbucks' first quarter earning report revealed signs the coffee shop chain is finally turning things around. The company showed growth for the first time in about 3 years, and results topped Wall Street expectations. Its back to Starbucks strategy includes improving store operations, simplifying menus, speeding up, and improving service. Mortgage rates rose last week for the first time in a month. The Mortgage Bankers Association says its average for a 30-year fixed mortgage nudged up to 6.37% for the week ending April 24th. Though applications to purchase a home picked up, a sign people are digging in and looking for homes this spring. Crude oil prices are higher as the Wall Street Journal reports President Trump has told aides to prepare for an extended blockade of Iran. Shell warns energy shortages could last in 2027. And a new report casts a grim look on the retirement prospects for Gen X. A PricewaterhouseCoopers survey found nearly half of Gen X employees are pushing back retirement dates. citing stagnant wages, rising expenses, and a lack of savings. That could have a ripple effect through the entire workforce, with younger employees unable to move up into those higher up positions currently held by Gen Xers. CJ Papa, Fox News.
The exact number of autoimmune diseases is still unclear. They're difficult to diagnose, there's no test to confirm you have one, and symptoms frequently overlap with other diseases. But researchers believe that there are between 80 to 150 autoimmune diseases. Many are chronic, debilitating, and require one or more daily medications.
These can be pills, these could be infusions or injections, most of which are targeted at dampening the immune response. And they are immunosuppressive to some degree. They have side effects to some degree.
Dr. Alicia Lieberman with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center is currently leading research into whether a breakthrough cancer immunotherapy called CAR T-cell therapy, which genetically engineers a donor or patient's own T-cells to attack cancer cells, could do the same for autoimmune diseases. While it's still early in clinical trials, she says it's showing promise.
Patients with severe lupus and lupus nephritis, scleroderma, even other neurologic conditions such as MS and stiff person syndrome, patients who have undergone this treatment have experienced significant improvement in their symptoms, if not reversal.
Lieberman says the goal of this research is to have a one-and-done treatment that could train a patient's body to fight back against the disease.
This would be an immune reset, really disrupt the autoimmune process that's set up in the tissue, and that the hope is that people will not need treatments long term.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Too bad you're coaching a bunch of girls. You know, wanker.
Ted Lasso and the gang are back for a new season with a new team. Ted returns to Richmond to coach a women's football squad in need of his particular brand of inspiration. Season 4 of Ted Lasso premieres August 5th.
Perfect, Laura. A little to your right. Wait for the rain to be over.
Laura Dern is checking into The White Lotus. The Oscar and Emmy-winning actress has joined the cast of the HBO series for its 4th season. The move comes after Helena Bonham Carter left the show shortly after filming for the new season got underway. Dern reportedly will play a new character rather than filling the role Carter was to play.
Snowball fight! I guess I'd like the idea of another adventure, you know?
Another Stranger Things animated adventure is on the way. Just days after Stranger Things Tales from '85 debuted, Netflix has renewed the series for a 2nd season. The streamer says the Hawkins Investigators Club is due to return with new episodes this fall. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
First time in Ireland.
My folks came here for their honeymoon. Always wanted to come back.
Adam Scott plays a curmudgeonly author in Hokum.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there are some oddballs walking around this place. I was already excited because I had loved Damien's previous movie, Oddity, so much, but then reading the script, I thought the character and the structure of the character's arc was unusual and exciting.
One of the members of staff is missing.
There's lots of haunted house movies, but a hotel would have such history and so many people passing through it. On top of that, it's a really easy way to start writing your characters because you just fill it out with the staff. You know, your guest is your main character, but then you get the caretaker, the owner, the manager, and kind of what are the relationships between all these people.
I'm getting a weird feeling.
Scott shared how he approached his performance since the scares come out in the editing.
As you're doing it, it's not necessarily scary in the moment because you're shooting such little bits and pieces, little short bits at a time, and it's very technical, and like you said, it has to do with the editing. So for me, it's more about finding something that makes me feel tense or scared in these little moments, but then also thinking about, oh my God, when this is all cut together, this is going to be so fun. Just knowing how scary this moment will be and knowing how good Damien is at putting these kinds of sequences together.
Can you hear me? Get me out of here, man!
Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Here's a dapper little dude whose sense of style is about more than outward appearance.
Every morning I say to myself, I'm not dressed out a tie.
New Jersey first grader Jordan got his first tie from his grandmother. It's now grown into a full-blown collection, and his sharp look has folks taking notice.
There has to be a special reason why you're wearing a tie. You just look so fancy. He says, I just like it.
That confidence caught on, inspiring instructional coach Maria Milan to create a children's book in his honor. Titled Jordan Fisher Wears a Tie, it's intended to show kids the power of being your authentic self.
And the fact that he inspired me, that's really the most exciting and most heartfelt thing for me.
Look at this girl looking stylish in her brand new ride. That's Claire in her custom car. Claire has spina bifida and is paralyzed from the knees down. Students at the University of Southern Maine gifted her this adaptive toy to help her get on the go. Fully decked out in Claire's favorite color, yellow, slapped with stickers, and the ability to haul a wheelchair for extra mobility. Claire's mom says this special gift is going to help her keep up with other kids and access places she couldn't get to before. Here's a not-so-smooth ride as a delivery debacle is caught on camera when paper goes flying across a New York interstate. Reportedly, the truck was carrying undeliverable bulk business mail when it lost the load. Bright side, no one was hurt and no one suffered a delivery delay. Finally, no one likes getting blasted in the beak on camera, especially if it's posted for the world to see. Let's not laugh too much at this bird's misery. It's not normal misery, it's award-winning misery. Titled, Now Where Is My Nest?, this pic claimed the Sterna People's Choice Award for the Nikon Comedy Wildlife Awards. Showing a gannet taking a face full of grass during a windy day in Yorkshire, England, it beat out 40 other finalists in an online vote to claim the top spot. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
This is a very special place. Here we have 8,000 years old traces of bread wheat, as well as we found here some years ago 8,000 years old traces of winemaking. So we could say for sure that here in Georgia we discovered traces of bread wheat and winemaking, which dates back 8,000.
როდესაც ჩვენ ვიკვლევდით ორი არქეოლოგიური ძეგლის, ეს არის შულავერის გორა და გადაჭრილი გორა, ნიმუშებში რბილი ხორბლის მარცვლებთან და თავთავის ღერძის ნაწევრებთან ერთად აღმოჩნდა ასევე ეგილობის ტაუში. ეს ჩვენ შესაძლებლობას გვაძლევს დავამტკიცოთ, რომ საქართველოს ტერიტორიაზე ზუსტად აღნიშნულ რეგიონში მოხდა რბილი ხორბლის წარმოშობა და შედეგად საქართველო არის რბილი ხორბლის წარმოშობის ერთ-ერთი ქერა.
It should be for people in Georgia and in the South Caucasus to know that their relatives were the ones that, with their inventiveness, their ability to pull things from different influences and their own intellect and understanding of their environments and their needs, were able to put that together.
Dream Dance Studio in Clinton has been hard at work prepping for their upcoming dance recital. But a few weeks ago, a brick or two were thrown into their plans.
Heard this, something like what it would sound like if a bomb were to go off. This loud crash, explosion sound. People in the hall were screaming.
Dance teacher and owner Olivia Bartley Hill was teaching ballet in the next room when the building shook.
Glass, bricks, cinder block spread from the wall all the way to the opposite wall, 50 feet away, putting dents and scratches in the floor, in the walls. It was very scary.
But the reality of what could have happened was even more terrifying.
I'm not sure if they had been in here, if the students and teacher would have survived all of those bricks and cinder blocks flying through the air.
Minutes before impact, a class that was normally using Studio One had been moved to a bigger space to practice recital dances. According to the Clinton police report, a Tesla Model 3 was on autopilot. The driver told the officers that she went to brake to turn on to Market Street, but the car kept going, accelerating into the building. Olivia's mom, Kay, says she felt the wall shake, then ran towards the car.
I touched the wall and I could feel debris hitting it. As soon as that quieted down, I opened the door and looked in, saw the car through, was into the studio, shut the door, ran out here, called 911, and then went outside to see if I could help the people in the car.
Witnesses estimate the car was going around 50 miles an hour when it crossed the street. Police say 3 people were taken into the hospital with minor injuries. Inside, duct tape now marks holes of the special dance floor, and the fresh boards cover the gap where the wall used to be. But the very next day, class resumed.
We wanted to show our kids, like, the show must go on.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro, the Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
But I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker-Mazara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.
Your wife is in a bar. You said she's unresponsive.
This is what he's going to tell you.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
Be the jury and to find the defendant